Good evening from Washington. I'm Larry O'Connor. And as the media has been transfixed on the third day now of wrangling in the House of Representatives amongst the Republican caucus over who's going to grasp that speaker's gavel, as usual, the real story is, well, the media's coverage and how the media is covering it. It tells you everything you need to know. My old employer and friend and mentor, Andrew Breitbart, would always tell me every story is a media story. And that's certainly how they go about their business every day over at Media Research Center, where we're joined by our friend, the managing editor of Newsbusters, Curtis Houck. Morning, Curtis. Happy New Year.
Good to be with you, my friend.
Well, is it me or did I see? I talked about this in my monologue last night. All three networks all using the same word: chaos, chaos at the Capitol, chaos here. Is it really that chaotic? Is it really the end of the world? Are planes dropping from the sky like it's the year 2000 crisis again?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe CBS in particular, because they had the population control guy, Doomsdayer Bob Ehrlich, on, so they're kind of still hung up on that. They're still
Right.
too busy in their apocalyptic world of things from a few nights ago. But in reality, yeah, I mean, turmoil is another word that's really been coming up, Larry. And the thing that's really stuck out to us the most at Newsbusters is this idea that the people who oppose Kevin McCarthy, or at least have concerns about the rules package that he would implement as Speaker, they're hard right, a far
Yeah.
right, a hard right group. And you just have really one basic concern with that. When is the squad labeled hard right, far left? It's always
Right.
progressive or more
Right.
democratic. There's no really sort of similar characterization going on. And really, that's something that we've noticed for, all 36 of our years of existence at the
Great
MRC
point.
writ large.
No such thing as a left wing extremist. You're right. And here's the other interesting thing about that. Yes, they keep calling them the hard right, the extremists on the right, the 20 holdouts for Kevin McCarthy. But Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump, they are, of course, favoring and supporting Kevin McCarthy. So does that mean the next time they're in the news, they won't be referred to as far right and extremists?
Right. It's just however convenient, whatever labeling that they want to deploy. There's no
Yeah.
sort of consistency, either, situationally or intellectually, ideologically. It's really whatever they want it to be. And in that case, it's a case of, it must be nice to be friends with the news media.
Well, these are also 20 lawmakers who are utilizing the right now as a power of 20. They do have some clout. They have the ability to stop things, and they're trying to negotiate the best deal they can before they acquiesce and allow things to proceed. It's almost like the filibuster that we see all the time in the Senate when Democrats use the filibuster to stop the process that Republicans in the majority are trying to move along. They're never derided and called hostage takers and terrorists by the media.
Yeah, you don't have Jake Tapper going along saying ultra MAGA, where you should be thankful that they are not storming the Capitol with tiki torches, as he said the other night. Or you
Yeah.
had Jonah Goldberg on saying that these 20 are too high on their own farts from Fox News green rooms, leaving Dana Bash in stitches laughing as they all cackled
Unbelievable.
like a
Yeah,
coven
it's
at,
juvenile.
with hatred. And again, this has been a great news story, Larry, for people to see
Yeah.
that really has CNN changed? No, not really.
No, not at all. In fact, let's talk about CNN for a minute. I just love the spectacle that Wolf Blitzer will be talking about something here in Washington politically, and they say, and now to give us the conservative Republican perspective, let's turn to our two analysts, Jonah Goldberg and Adam Kinzinger.
Yeah, senior political commentator. Aaron Burnett said she was thrilled, Larry, to bring him in, and officially announced that he had joined CNN. I mean, if you had the under of, I believe it was 1 day, 2 days, please collect your winnings.
Yeah.
With CNN, with Chris Licht, it's, are you in control? I get you don't want to be a control freak, because that's what Jeff Zucker was. He was in the middle of the newsroom, this guy who had all these responsibilities, not just at CNN, but Warner Brothers writ large. He was in charge of TNT, the NBA on TNT, MLB
Yeah.
on TBS. But yet he'd be in the control room telling people what to say, rewriting chyrons. Lick doesn't want to be that. but you're kind of asleep at the wheel by allowing this kind of nonsense to go on and by hiring a guy who's desperately thirsty for liberal wine moms to become the voice of conservatism, and not just a political commentator, a senior political commentator. This is like David Axelrod level. David
Yeah.
Axelrod, David Gergen, those are the levels of other senior political commentators at CNN. Rick Santorum used to be one of them at CNN, but they've thrown him aboard. He's not there
Well,
anymore.
everyone they've had in that capacity they've thrown out, and that's honestly, I just what bothers me the most is that of course they have a political bias. We've known it since, as you said, 36 years ago, you guys started business at Media Research Center. It's just bad television. Adam Kinzinger and Jonah Goldberg represent about this much of conservative Republicans in this country. Why not have, just for the sake of a good political conversation, why not have somebody who really does represent a big chunk of the Republican voters in this country?
Right. You add Alyssa Farah. That's one of their other people that they've had on. They had Rodney Davis, moderate Republican, also from Illinois. They've had him on. They haven't signed him to a contract, but he's been on the panel. Mondaire Jones, who in a very interesting turn of events was moved out of his district and is now out of a job. He was there on CNN as well, but he hasn't signed on. So it's this pattern of behavior where everybody is just sitting around and agreeing with each other. And as our friend Chris Plant would
Yeah.
say about Morning Joe, called them the Pigeon Sisters, that's really what all of CNN is, where they all just sit around and agree with each other. And if you
Yeah.
want to go woke and go broke, why don't you just have more people of other, races or backgrounds or genders, Instead, by bringing on people like Adam Kinzinger and seeing all their reply guys with little Ukraine flags in their profile pictures, being outrageously happy, it gives away the game when it comes to the Democrats and the left's claims that diversity is
Right.
paramount.
Oh, it's got as much diversity of opinion as the makeup of the January 6th committee. Curtis, before I let you go, I know you guys over at Media Research Center have a new report here about how the media handled Donald Trump's taxes. Boy, during his presidency, this was the holy grail. It was the golden ring. It was the biggest story. We got to get to those taxes. Well, wrongly, they have been released, or at least some of them have been released by the Democrats in the House. How did the media finally cover it when they had their story?
Yeah, so our Bill D'Agostino has a piece at Newsbusters that you can check out. He has a video compilation of, Don Lemon and Joy Reid and the like, Carl Bernstein huffing and puffing for years about what is in Donald Trump's taxes, Alpha Bank, Deutsche Bank, throwing out all these different groups and names, talking to Michael Cohen, wondering what's going to happen. And then the taxes came out, and within, I believe, 2 or 3 days, the story was gone. Wow, isn't that interesting? This is more or less
Yeah.
like Al Capone's vault that they opened up, and really there wasn't anything inside. Because as folks may remember, Mary Trump leaked a number of Donald Trump's taxes to the New York Times a
That's
few
right.
years ago. And the New York Times' reports that I've read have even just kind of admitted that like, well, it more or less completes and kind of backs up what we had a few years ago.
Yeah, that's a great point, and sadly, not surprising. The only quarrel I would have with you, Curtis, is at least the Al Capone Volts program was somewhat entertaining, which is a far cry from what we're seeing on cable news right now. Curtis, thank you. Great job, as always, at Newsbusters and MRC. And by the way, as the media spends so much time demonizing Republicans during this fight over the speaker's gavel, once we do have a speaker and we get to the business, just watch how they ignore what Republicans actually do in Congress. More to come on O'Connor Tonight.